Let's move on now from the Northwest to the Western Cape then, where Peninsula University of Technology student leaders say there's an escalating student accommodation crisis at the District 6 campus. This follows on from the same situation that we actually spoke about on the show just yesterday then in Gauteng. Hundreds of students are being left stranded and sleeping on pavements outside the Cape Peninsula campus since Thursday night. That's because of the alleged slow allocation of residence places then. Nasiphi joins us live now. Nasiphi, the situation is absolutely stark, and one would suggest that it's going to be a governmental problem at the very least, if not a university one.
Indeed, Arabila, when you speak of a very dire situation where students are sleeping outside the institution in hope that they will be allocated residence. And I just want to show the viewers and paint a clearer picture for you so that you are able to see what we are talking about when we say hundreds of students. We're hearing from the student leadership that these are all CPUT students, some returning, some first-year students as well, who have been camped outside the institution for a number of days. And as you put it, they believe that this is a res allocation crisis, and they bemoan the slow pace, as they put it, from the institution side when it comes to allocating residents to these students. I'm now joined by one of the student leaders, who is SASCO Deputy Chairperson for the District 6 campus, where we're currently standing outside. But we had a conversation earlier this week, and you were highlighting that this is a growing concern of the student leadership. If you could just articulate to us how we got to this situation behind us.
So this is how we got to this situation. On the past 2 weeks, there were lesser number than this. So we tried meeting the institution halfway by taking lists as different student organizations. And we're like, here are the list of pending students that are on campus. So can you guys please fast track the rest allocation room? Because classes have already started for returning students. And we knew that this week, first-year students were coming. They released a statement to say first-year students can come from the 7th. Then we asked Uti, how can we start with first-year students while they're still returning students who are supposed to be attending classes but are not yet allocated rooms? They kept on coming back to us every day, taking lists. They themselves even went as far as taking lists from those students, because probably they thought we're not being honest with the number of lists. But there hasn't been much progress. The only response we're getting is only 25 students are placed per day, but we have more than 500 students. Each and every day the number is increasing. So how is it that only 25 students are placed from 8 until 4 when they knock off? How is it possible?
I just want to understand. CPUT released a statement about 19 hours ago, highlighting that this week hundreds of students hoping to secure residence have had their pending status moved to accepted thanks to the massive drive from CPUT. And they are saying that only students who have applied for residence are being processed, and indicating, or rather going as far as saying that they're even calling those that have been accepted for res. The students that are here, have they applied for res timelessly, of course? And what is their status?
The students that are here applied for res. We have proof of screenshots, and their statuses are still pending. They've been sending emails. First, returning students have started sending emails from the 13th after they registered for academic registration. First-year students started sending emails from the 27th of January, but nobody is responding to those emails. Students are panicking. They released that statement, as I said, so that they said students can come from the 7th. First-year students came in flocking from the 7th, from yesterday. And even some are still coming today, but their statuses are still on pending. So we don't understand when they say hundreds of students are being moved from pending to placement. Where are those students? Because the students that are here are still on pending.
I just want to ask, the student leadership is describing this as a student accommodation crisis. The students here have been sleeping outside for a number of days now. What intervention is required? I understand that you are saying that some students have already started their academic year.
The intervention we require from the institution is for them to fast-track the rest allocation rooms. That's all we're asking from them. Because we can't be having students that are bathing in bathroom sinks. We have girls here who have been going on their menstrual cycles. I, for one, experienced that there were 4 girls that bled, and you could see in their pants that these girls don't have pants, haven't showered for a week. It's very difficult for us because we are girls, we know these situations, and it's very painful to see another black child suffering at the expense where this child was sent by her family. Parents are calling non-stop. These kids' phones are off. Parents are calling non-stop to check if students are safe. Parents are worried sick. And the institution is not trying. It's not really trying from our side, because you can't tell us that we're placing 25 students a day while there are hundreds and the number keeps on increasing every day.
Now let's talk about the engagements that you've had with the institution itself. What kind of engagements have you had? Yesterday we saw a contingent of police and law enforcement authorities here. What was that for?
Yesterday the police were here thinking we are on strike, we are fighting. We explained to the cops that were called here that we are really not fighting. What we are asking for is the institution to meet us halfway, because we realize that violence is not going to solve anything. Because if we resort to violence, the institution said they're not going to do anything. We asked, we begged. Then they made it be like there's kind of progress. They were like, students should line up here. Students lined up here for more than 4 to 5 hours. The housing department came through, and they only placed 25 students. Some of the 130 students that are placed to capacity were sent to a certain private accommodation. When they got there, they got returned back because that landlord said he does not know anything regarding CPUT students.
I just want to find out quickly for us, what does it mean, or what would be the conditions for somebody, or rather for somebody's status to be pending?
For your status to be pending, if you are a returning student, you have passed all your modules, you did not matriculate around this province, which is the 60-kilometer radius, and also you qualify, you passed all your modules, you did not fail any modules. So when your status is pending, that means you are eligible to be allocated a room.
Thank you so much. That is one of the student leaders here at the District 6 campus. She was indicating earlier on that it is also students from the Moorbury campus, a couple of kilometers from Cape Town CBD. But we will be speaking to the institution, as if you remember, Arabile, that earlier this month, or rather last month, we were invited by the institution to take us through the residents that they have, and also indicating the number of bed allocation and residents that they have, and not too far from here, female-only residents for first-year students. And they were saying that this year, looking at the need and demand for student accommodation, that increased their bed capacity by a further 1,000, and hopefully, the institution will be able to put, what is currently playing behind us into perspective, and also what the pending residence allocation means, and how quickly can the situation behind us be actually resolved, as we have heard from the student leadership now, that it is going to become a security concern as well, because a number of students are sleeping on the side path outside the institution for a number of days now.